This episode is illogical.
Frickin' nailed it.
Nailed it.
It is a banger of a theme, though.
Welcome back to Keith and Mike. Nope, that's not right. Strange New Show. Keith and Mike watch Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. I was sort of right.
Yeah, this is the one show we have that is not literal.
Just Keith and Mike watch. Yes.
Yes.
It has a it's got some sauce to it, and we are feeling saucy today.
Yes, we are.
We took a couple of months off as we were finishing up Deep Space Nine. Go check out the rest of Deep Space Nine. But before we continue to our eagerly anticipated version of Keith and Mike watch Star Trek Voyager. Boy, is that going to be fun. We have to finish off the last 3 episodes of Season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It feels like it's been 4.5 months since I watched this episode, so I had to go back and watch it again. But we have a lot to talk about. First off, we're recording this on January 22nd, 2026, right before the big giant storm. I believe Jason Moe sent me this shirt. Make it snow.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, how are you preparing for the blizzard apocalypse of January 2026?
I'm trying not to get too excited about it because then it's going to fizzle. That's just how it happens. But I have tomorrow to get through work, and then I have to babysit my niece and nephew, which I don't mind doing. I enjoy their company, but it's at their house, and I like my own space. And then I get to run home on Saturday, get ready for we bought some snacks, and we got some movies in the queue, ready to watch. And that's all I'm doing. There's nothing else, no other prep. I mean, we'll probably end up watching the next episode of this next week as well.
Probably.
I'm getting prepped for our Voyager podcast. I'm getting really excited about that.
We have so much. I can tell both of us are doing so much work on it because our Dropbox is like melting. It's like smoking.
Yeah, it's true. It's so fun to know when people are collaborating together. And what's even more fun is, you know that old saying, distance makes the heart grow fonder, Keith? Well, sometimes distance just emphasizes distance, and that's the case with this show. As we put it on the shelf to finish the shoot of Deep Space Nine, and in picking it back up here, we both have forgotten entirely how to do it. What the roles and responsibilities were.
How do we do this?
I forgot about writing. And then
I forgot what the show looked like until we logged in.
Yeah, and then I will say, let's get on task here.
Yeah, here we go.
Focused. Did the watch along with the friends, I remember the first 7 episodes of the season feeling a little less enthusiastic as I did in the previous seasons, where I was giving just enormous levels of grace because I think, Keith, my fandom was blossoming and I just wanted content, right?
Sure.
And since I'm not really married to the established lore of these characters, the canon of these characters, I liked the sort of flippancy and the non-serious tone that they struck with it often. I think I got a little tired of that in the beginning of this season, although it started off strong. We had the Trelane episode, and then kind of from there felt, okay. And also that was being juxtaposed directly with the last 10 episodes of Deep Space Nine, which
is unfair to match any property with.
Yes. That all said, not to spoil anything, but revisiting this was sort of a breath of fresh air, I have to say. Now, I didn't watch it 12 times like you did. So, but I do imagine, and I have somehow not looked at the internet discourse on this episode, that there are some strong feelings on either side here. Because I think we can agree here that this is a broad approach at comedy here. This is like in the Ferengi episode territory, I would say, in its the boldness of its strokes. Like if it was PowerPoint or Photoshop, excuse me, they'd be dragging that brush slider real thick.
If it were PowerPoint, then when you clicked on the MOV, it wouldn't come up right. And then you'd be like, wait, this worked when I plugged it in last time. Does anybody have a different laptop?
That weighs 30 pounds?
Yeah,
ThinkPad?
exactly.
Right.
I'm not above some PowerPoint.
No,
for sure.
You started
For sure.
your whole career in PowerPoint, baby.
I did. Well, although I started doing my solo show in PowerPoint, then moved to OBS because it was more powerful. Also because my PowerPoint was from 2007 and perhaps didn't have all of the contemporary bells and whistles. But you know what does have all the contemporary bells and whistles? That's this show. Let's talk about the episode. So, obviously, we are talking about Season 3,
what
Episode 8.
are we talking about? Oh, yes.
Do we ever know? 4.5 Vulcans. I actually, when I was typing the episode title for the thing below here, I forgot what it was, and so I typed out first too many Vulcans. But as it turned out, it was 4.5, which aired on August 28th, 2025. Gosh, we took like 5 months off, because we were right on time before. So it was deep in the summer when this aired. The Tom song, back at number 1. We were still, you know what? Now that I've heard it a lot of times, it's a banger. Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, right, because it's now.
Yeah,
It was like I have no idea the words that you just said. It is a banger.
Give us a little bit.
No idea. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But they did a performance lately. Yeah, that one. That banger. They did it live. Was it the Golden Globes? Maybe they did it live somewhere, and it was.
They do it live all the time, and they do it well live.
Oh yeah, sound great.
They're
Look great.
They sound good. Indeed, they do. The top movie was Weapons.
Great.
Back at number 1. Still haven't seen it.
Oh, it's on the thing.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't. I don't look at your thing anymore, Mike.
That's
Mine's
right.
bigger.
I forgot. No more Peony Pop.
Mine's bigger. Oh, no, I was gonna say, it has.
Mine's in Dolby Vision.
Yes, you have all of those 1982 sitcoms in Dolby Vision. Although, far be it for me to criticize, I did this week add Golden Girls.
Good. Talk about needing an AI upscale. Speaking of that,
right?
Well, we already talked about that. Well, that's for a different show.
Yeah. But we should talk about that. Anyway, so Weapons, the top weekly world news headline from 20 years previous. You remember this?
I do. Hold on. Why don't you talk about it?
I'm going to say we used to do a segment on the Out of Practice podcast called Back in Time True Crime.
Oh, there were many. We had so many assets. We were really going for it.
We had a lot of stuff going on, and this is the true crime. This kitten is guilty of murder, and we need to sign the petition inside, or Fluffy dies, and they are about to execute.
My favorite part of that Photoshop, because your eye is drawn to the syringe, but if you look at the kitten's right paw, like the little buckles. Oh, both paws, the little buckles.
Yeah, well, it's strapped down. It's strapped to the gurney.
I hope he's warm enough. Is all I can say.
That is my special interest now, because the big storms coming to New Jersey, and I take care of some of the neighborhood cats, and so am continually upgrading their shelter, trying to get it warmer and warmer, and at some point it's going to be nicer than my house.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, it's also you're sort of just creating a backup for Keith.
Oh, it is better insulated than this house. I guarantee you that now.
Like if things go south, you got a spot out there.
Absolutely. I just got to, got hooked. I was literally figuring out, well, okay, so if I ran a tube from the dryer
Ethernet
vent on the outside of the house and ran it and then ran the dryer, I could heat it.
Or suffocate. I mean, can you breathe that? I mean, it's just It's just hot air, right?
It's hot air. Yeah, you can totally breathe it.
You got to run your dryer. That seems inefficient. That seems less efficient than just like a space heater.
I don't want to burn the house down. But
just running your dryer all the time?
Jillian only had one non-negotiable, and that was I'm not allowed to burn the house down.
Well, that's logical.
So there is one adult in the house, and reminds me not to burn it down. So anyway, I hope that kitten was not executed, even though it is quite a murderer. Charlie left me a.
My guess is it's not alive anymore. That kitten.
You don't know. 20 years is possible.
Possible.
But yeah, no. Charlie left me just the head of a mouse on my bedroom floor the other day.
No thanks.
It's nice of him. So this episode, 4.5 Vulcans, that's what we're talking about, was directed by Jordan Canning, who last directed Wedding Bell Blues.
That was a good one. We liked Wedding Bell Blues. That was a comedic one I liked. That was the Trelane one, beginning of the episode.
Yeah, the Trelane one. Yeah, Trelane was fun. It was written by Dana Horgan and Henry Alonzo Myers.
Horgan.
Let's have something trivial, shall we? After all this really serious kitten murder talk. Now, Keith, waste your time.
With what?
With trivial trivia. See, I gotta build a Voyager-specific one of that.
That was clever. Yeah, I never really saw the U pop up, like with your little toy.
Have you never looked at the...
That's just for this show, though, right?
Yeah, because it's specific to this show.
I'm glad we took some time off.
Everything is new again. Yeah. Maybe I saved all the files and I can just swap out some of the B-roll. Anyway, in trivial trivia, the Primanti sandwich mentioned with the fries inside is a reference to a Pittsburgh-based Primanti Brothers, a well-known Pittsburgh institution known for the invention of fries in a sandwich.
When is that talked about?
It's talked about in the episode. While they're having lunch. There's like 6 different lunch.
There's a lot of eating this episode.
There's a lot of eating this episode. Just imagine that coming up in any one of those conversations.
All right.
Have you been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
It's nice. I like the rivers going through the city.
Sure. Yeah, Pittsburgh's great.
Wow.
Every time I've been to Pittsburgh, and it's only been a handful of times, it's always really cold. Same with Chicago. I need to go to these places when it's warm so I have a better experience, because my remembrance of Pittsburgh and of Chicago is just being so cold.
Yeah, I actually was there in the summer or fall for all of the... I've been to Chicago a couple times and Pittsburgh once, and it was nice and warm. Like we walked along the river. You go... Because they have the river and then the football stadium and the baseball stadium like right next to each other. So you just like cross the bridge over the river and walk by the stadiums, and you can practically like look into the window onto the field at Heinz Field. It's nice.
Chicago, what I remember about Chicago that I think is awesome is I had a buddy, real quick aside, who went to an open call for Wicked. Open call.
Wow.
And they were like, hey, he just sang his whatever bars. Yeah. And they said, hey, do you know Dancing Through Life? He sang Dancing Through Life. They said, hey, can you go get measured? From the audition, they sent him to get measured. They sent the measurements back. They were like, can you be in Chicago in 3 days? And in 4 days, he was in Wicked. He was Fierro. And so we went to see him, and I thought that Chicago's sort of like main theater strip of the bunch of cities I've visited, like seen theater in, it's the most like one-to-one New York-y, if that makes sense. It feels like Broadway.
The center of Chicago feels very much like New York, just clean. Cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like Chicago very much. I didn't see any with the big house. I saw something at the Goodman and
Steppenwolf. It's great there.
Steppenwolf. And I saw Jillian do Cheers at a smaller theater there. It's like a 500.
It's not quite Primanti 3, but
nothing is. Anyway, can you tell just Mike and I haven't chatted in a little bit?
Yeah, it's true. It has been a couple. Without Deep Space Nine, what are we?
I mean, do we even know each other? So in La'an's Katra mental landscape, where we have a whole dance sequence, because sure, the Enterprise's science lab has become a cetacean ops. Now, do you know what cetacean ops is, Mike?
I've got to help those whales!
Yes! Now, do you know that on Next Gen, they, in the blueprints of Deep Space Nine, of the Enterprise, they have a cetacean ops run by dolphins, who are actual Starfleet members, because they're intelligent.
Is it?
And they swim around.
Is it telepathetic?
Yes, it is telepathetic.
And so am I.
But yeah, so they're like I believe it is canon. There are dolphins swimming around helping them navigate on the Enterprise.
I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah.
So this is the first live action appearance of such a room, although we do see it animated on lower decks, albeit in a dreamlike sequence. The Cetacean Ops is a facility aboard certain Federation starships in the mid to late 24th century, responsible for aiding the ship's navigations. They usually had aquariums for crew members operating the navigation systems, with those crew members being sentient cetaceans, aquatic mammals like dolphins and whales. While never actually shown on screen, they're first mentioned in Next Gen, specifically in the episode Yesterday's Enterprise. In my opinion, the best episode of the series. The computer is heard ordering Dr. Kim to Cetacean Ops. Enterprise D, also headquarters for tourist ops, dolphins. In the episodes, we'll always have Paris. That's kind of crazy. It's fun. Dolphins.
Who knew?
Also, Spock makes direct reference to Khan Noonien Singh when speaking to La'an. While in the original series, Space Seed, Khan was not known about by Spock and the Enterprise crew. Which feels like what a missed opportunity. Like, why would we break such like classic canon and not find a way to reveal? Well, I mean, they knew about Khan. They just didn't know that he was alive. They knew the historical Khan. I think that's wrong. Because if I'm remembering Space Seed correctly, they went into the when they discovered Khan, they went into the computer banks, and he was a historical figure. They just didn't know he was still alive. So I don't know about that. You know what I do know about is our guest stars. And that is Paul Wesley, here as James Tiberius Kirk, with regular guest stars Patton Oswalt as Doug, Killian O'Sullivan as Roger Corby, Melanie Scorfano as Marie Battelle, Minor Lucan as Beto Ortegas, and Carol Kane as Pelia, with co-stars Rong Fu as Jenna Mitchell and Graham Somerville as Vice Admiral Hasalk. Yeah. So
that's all just like billing stuff. I mean, they're basically all cast members.
A lot of these are. Yeah. It's not billing. It's what kind of bills are getting paid that way.
Yeah, right. Now, before we jump in, just to level set.
Okay.
Because I want to remember where we're going. We have one more season and then the final 4-episode short season, or is the next season the final thing that's leading us to the potential of the new Enterprise show? But we don't know for sure that that's happening though, because everything's in flux these days, right?
Let's find out. Honestly, I just have not paid enough attention.
Right.
So according to IMDb, there is a full. There is a full season 4
that is already wrapped, I believe.
That is already wrapped, and then a 6-episode season 5.
Okay.
Or 6-episode season 5 coming.
Cool. Hey.
So who's
just more podcast?
I mean, gosh, we need to talk to each other somehow. So you want to know who pays us to talk to each other? I've never had a friendship that was subsidized by fantastic people, Mike.
Well, Keith, there are fantastic people that help us pay our bills, and they are the patrons of the K&M Empire. And they are thusly. We have Brian Kimber Biersick, Clark's Bar, Jamie Lubin, Jason Moe, Deborah, of course, Peter Bank, Holmes, Feast 17, welcome to the team, everybody out there.
FCast 17,
FCast.
Welcome to the team.
Feasting on my wrongness. Joshua Cronin, DC, Anton Thies, Mike, Andrew Hayes, Alan, Mysterious Household, Worf, Spiggle, Boucher, Charles Babbage, John Kelly, Keith Blake, Casey Alexander, Harry Potter, Carlfish, Oliver, Jen Scott, Trent, Gooby Babies, Peter Baby Henson, no, I love these people, I can't keep up. And then, of course, there's so many folks, but you know what? You get to see your names. Someday I'll read them, but I didn't get very far. And
all right.
And the Chancellor.
Do not slow it down.
Gooby Babies.
You have
Gooby
to
babies.
talk faster.
Now,
Keith,
Keith,
the Micro Machines guy.
For those people who have given way too much for so little, the Hall of Fame, read them off.
The Hall of Famers include Casey Clark, Brian Kaufman, Jason Moe, Joshua Cronin, The Mysterious Ann Worf, Boot Shifts, Colin Dagan, Quarks Bar, Peter Bank, Seaworm Productions, Jennifer Massanova, Cloud Number 69, Charles Babbage, Kevin Miles, Frank Ridge, Brian Kipple, Beer Sack, JD at JD Makes, Ryan Chesley, Yanba, Anton Thies, Merritt Neath, Jamie Lumen, Mike Nucley, Ivanovich Lobachevsky, Alan, and Carl Fisher.
Thank you for being part of the team. You can join that same team at patreon.com/KNM. Keith, to the screening room we go.
Let's go to the screening room.
I won't give it away, but I am. All right, let's just roll.
Yes.
That's a hysterical. We are en route, finally, to get a little bit of a break on our way to the resort planet Permanti 3. And we got a little kibitzing happening here. Una tells La'an she's going to skip shore leave, Keith. She's got too much work to catch up on.
Maybe
La'an
get a sandwich?
She needles her a little bit, asking her what she might be avoiding. But their girl talk is interrupted when who other but maybe somebody who's been hanging a sock on the door, Spock. That's, yeah, we all know what that's all about. But they dismiss him awkwardly because they're casually dating, but they promise not to make things weird, remember? So already we've started the kind of quirky tune. Meanwhile, Captain Pike is sparring with Batel. They're in the gym, working up a sweat. She reveals that she's going to use this shore leave to meet up with Admiral Pasok, her old boss, and plead for reinstatement. Pike begrudgingly agrees to host a dinner. He loved to cook for the Admiral.
Now, mind you, that we should point out, plot point-wise, because we're going to get here at some point, she's super strong still because she's all Gorny.
Yeah.
And so it is a moment that, no, she is super strong, but not strong enough to knock any of his hair around.
No, never.
That hair is still perfect.
Yeah. Also giving me Jadzia and Worf vibes here of like the just sort of the battling workout. Interestingly, I've noticed on Strange New Worlds, there's a lot of people like doing kickboxing aerobics. Like that's a featured workout here on the ship.
Well, you know, it's you got to keep it tight in space.
And that's true. But there's an urgent call from Vulcan. Before any of us can get on our shore leave, Uhura summons Pike to the bridge. The high command from Vulcan reports that the planet Tetzer is facing an energy failure, something or other. And because Vulcans intervened there centuries ago, the Federation is allowed to help without technically breaching the Prime Directive. But there's some scanner BS that makes it so that only actual Vulcans can go down there. Am I reading that basically correctly?
Yes. So that they got contacted by the Vulcans before they were ready to join, you know, like it was the early first contacty kind of stuff. So blah, 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 exposition. They can only communicate with actual Vulcans.
But it can't be just dress up. So we are going to use Chapel and Mbenga, have some sort of Kirkovian serum that once restored Spock's physiology, yada yada, it'll overwrite their DNA, and they will become Vulcans.
Mike is making the right face for this plan.
Yes. The convolution is a lot. But basically, we got to become Vulcans. Great. At this point, great joke. One of the jokes that really lands for me is that they drop the title of the episode, Keith. It's really going to be 4.5 Vulcans.
4.5 Vulcans.
Yes, because Spock is not a full Vulcan. The crew lines up. The serum is administered. Pelia, they all have convulsions, and they're all over the place. Ears grow, eyebrows reshape. Pike's hair becomes more gelled. La'an experiences emotional overload, and of course Pelia nothing, and she is a lanthanite, and so she complains that same thing, even LSD didn't work with her, which made me chuckle. After they tease one another, and everybody drops.
I love how it changes his hair.
Yeah. It's like, I'm already asking myself in this med bay scene here, like, how long can they extend this joke? Like, how long can this joke be funny? And I had to buckle up because we are going to explore that hypotheses. So they tease each other, and now they get their like little weapon things and their kits and these cool outfits, and they are now going to beam down to what Mike expected to be a cool use the volume episode where we are going to be down on Tensor and exploring the strange new world that was promised in the whole premise of the show.
Yeah.
However, what we in a deliberate anticlimax, which I think is pretty funny, the episode skips it. It happens off screen, literally the second they beam out.
Which I don't mind. Like, if you're just gonna like forget it, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste our time with it.
100%.
So
I think that is both a comedic timing beat and also a sort of meta beat about how, like, we're not even going to yada 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 this. We're just going to hard cut to their back.
Right.
They report they're sort of all bored with it. It wasn't very challenging. Spock notes they didn't even break a sweat. Pike's upset. He thought it would be more exciting. And he says, let's take our shore leave. However, back aboard, they are all scanned and they discovered that the serum isn't wearing off. And that they may remain Vulcan indefinitely, which, oh my goodness, this is the actual plot of the episode. And we wonder internally whether they can handle this, but they all think it's logical to stay Vulcan. And so in probably one of the best gags, we jump to the title credits, which I did not get screens of, but it is Pike doing the title read as a Vulcan.
As a Vulcan.
Yeah, they all are doing like a bad karaoke version of the Vulcan. No more than Pike, who is really laying it on thick. It's this, I had to think about it. Normally, Keith, because I'm guilty of it sometimes, on stage,
what?
When you see actors who are like so close to breaking or making someone else break, that it's like you can like see through the veiled fourth wall. 100%. That is 100% annoying a lot of times. Sometimes, if it's good actors that you enjoy, it's actually, so it's like this weird thing. I either hate it, right? Because I'm like, yo, I want to see the play. I don't want to see them playing within the play. But sometimes it's really, really amusing and funny, and it adds an element of whimsy. It's like it's a art, not a science.
Well, and I think it comes down to whether it's genuinely organic, because I think about, like, there's a couple of shows that have played Broadway back in the day, like Hairspray and Producers. Hairspray was particularly egregious for this, that had planned breaks, right? So, like it felt like, oh my God, this is so funny. They're cracking each other up. Look at that, whatever. And then you realize that, oh no, that's actually part of, like, that's like a direction. They do this every night. So, like, you're Timeless to Me, right? In Hairspray, they broke on purpose, so it wasn't organic. They weren't really breaking. They were pretending to break, and like pretending like this was a spontaneous moment. And I found that tremendously disappointing and annoying, that it was like fake breaking.
Yeah, whereas in Addams Family, which is a role originated, a role I did, which is originated by Nathan Lane, it's built in a fashion, whereas like there are bumper safeties built in, so yes, there are moments to like kind of riff, don't have to. The script is there, but there are like, it's almost like ellipses are there in order to give freedom and space. It's an interesting.
And that's great. And if that natural freedom leads to somebody breaking organically, wonderful. Like, so that's, and there are lots of great shows like that. Addams Family that way, also Nathan Lane, or like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels had moments like that, but it had to be organic.
And the chemistry has to be right, and I think and that's different on stage because there's a live element that gives the audience the feeling like that you're part of something organic, versus on screen here. My vibe the whole episode is that Pike, the actor playing Pike, is sort of enjoying it so much and playing the joke so hard that it's sort of bubbling through the facade. Now, that said, I enjoyed it. Like, it's funny to me, but I can see where that could be too much for some.
Well, I think it's both at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I think it is funny. I think this of the whole show, right? Because Strange New Worlds is a deeply unserious show, and there are times where it is genuinely funny, and times where it becomes about cracking each other up more than it is being a show. And I think that is, this is yet another one of the comedy episodes that suffers from that a little bit. That it's like they watched too many episodes of Lower Decks and sort of thought like we're the non-animated version of Lower Decks, but not necessarily organically Star Trek. This is
well,
sort
what
of my
they've
complaint.
yet to really prove to me, at least, is unlike Deep Space Nine, where they could sort of ride that tonal inconsistency. Sometimes, like, there were some deeply upsetting episodes of that show and deeply comedic episodes of that show. Here, I think the comedy, while I think it hits more than it misses, it sort of kneecaps those episodes where they want us to be really serious. The one that was about PTSD and battle, the Gorn episodes, the sort of horror genre based ones, feel a little neutered, but it's just so tonally shifted.
Well, I'll put it this way. I think that the best comedy in Star Trek, and Star Trek is not exactly famous for having wonderful comedy, but when it is successful, it is character-based. This seems concept-based or actor-based. I see the actors being funny, not the characters exploiting their foibles. And I think that is where, and so it's like, oh, we are actors doing a funny concept, not this is a quirk of the character that I am playing. And that is, I think, why it lands flat.
While I generally agree with that, I think this episode for me is more successful because rather than just sort of broad conceptual nature, it's very much taking the piss or sort of deconstructing Vulcans and our preconceived notion of the Vulcan. And I think there are some successes here. We'll get to them. This scene is the start of it, and they basically are breaking down the argument as to why it would be silly to become human again. And clearly the only logical choice is they should
stay Vulcan. Yeah.
Una notes, where did I go? Blah, 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 blah.
Because they're trapped in their Vulcan bodies, they all now have to sort of go back to their regular lives and navigate their regular lives as Vulcans now.
So I just have it out of order in my notes. Uhura.
I was covering for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. She, her big sort of Vulcan flop is that Beto is too unpredictable.
Chaotic and human.
Too human, and this is a flaw. So in her misguided logical move, she mind melds with him to suppress his spontaneity.
If only that worked.
Yeah.
I say this as an autistic person who was dated. That would be great.
What's kind of cute about that too is that this guy, this sort of reveal of it happening is a little bit later, and I just kind of bought that that's what was happening.
Sure.
Yeah. It was cool.
The one thing that this episode does with the Vulcans, right? So like what are we learning about the Vulcans in this situation? Is that, you know, they're hyper logical, they want to work hard, they are, you know, fastidious, and so on and so forth. But they are lacking in the morality that is inherent with the Vulcans that we have grown up with, through Spock and through, all the other versions of the Vulcans. Now, of course, starting in Enterprise, Vulcans were kind of pompous and kind of dickish, but they weren't they were always guided by like their moral principles. And I think mind melding with somebody to control them feels kind of morally shady, even if there was some level of consent there. That these are more chaos Vulcans, and I don't know if that's what part of these people are running the show there. Is this because they are inexperienced Vulcans, or is it because and so the character flaws of the humans are overriding here?
So I think that's it. I think there was less of a discussion of like, how can we make it a believable melding of the human portion of them and the Vulcan logic. I think it's just more clunky. I think they're really focused on the La'an version, like that's their big story beat of it. And so these were just a little more clunky. Like, I think we're trying to make a meta commentary about how, I mean, they basically make the analogy, variety is the spice of life. Vulcans cook with no spice. There's no, it's like, it's a little on the nose. But
and I think this is my biggest issue. I guess we're sort of talking through the whole thing as we're happening, but
I'll get to that. Trust me.
The biggest piece of lore here that I'm struggling with is that even though they sort of address a little bit how they feel these big feelings or whatever, and we have moments where they transition into it, Vulcans' logic and discipline and all of that is not genetic. That is something they are trained to do from birth. It is a discipline, not a genetic. So these people, if they were magically full Vulcans, should not have any of this. And so they should be feral, emotional creatures that they had to then adapt themselves this belief in logic. It's this religion, it's this philosophy that is ingrained on them, but it's not genetic, which this feels like it's very canon breaky to me.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I don't think they really want to make, that's not the exploration they're interested in. Really. I think it was like, it's just for jokes. So we can talk about, But
they're throwing out generations of world building to like land a joke. You need to address it somehow.
Fair. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Kirk drops by. He's gonna hang out with Sam, but Sam's doing his thing. So
some great screenshots.
Kirk has to hang out with Montgomery Scotty, and then he's like, "Let's get a drink." And Scotty, I think, who's used to being in the basement like us, was like, "Yeah, that sounds good."
Yeah, all right, good enough.
Pike basically says we stink as people.
Mm-hmm.
But
he goes and messes up his relationship by saying you stinky.
Yeah, but he's
beautiful girlfriend of mine.
Got to do a lot of chores, and what I do love is that Vulcan Pike is an OCD-ridden neat freak who wants everybody on a 42-minute shift schedule, which I do have to say is funny.
No, totally. And Vulcans suppressing their noses because humans stink, that is very much part of canon. So I didn't, this part I liked. This all tracks to me. I mean, assuming you just magically have adapted all of these things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and like, we can critique it all we want. Ensign Mount is having the frickin' time of his life.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure they were pissing themselves and taking the piss.
Well, I mean,
all during the shoot of this.
Basically, he just becomes you.
Yeah. Yes.
Like hair included.
Yeah. Well, I just got a cut, so like I need to grow her back. But yes.
Yes. Just Pike just becomes Mike.
So now we find out that Chapel's her thing is she's going to be a workaholic.
Mm-hmm.
Man, why, these are all out of order again. How did I do that?
I don't know. These things happen. So she's working on 72 different projects
different things, and she realizes that like her personal, her multiple. She's trying to do all these things, and she's concerned about. Mbenge says, "Hey, you're going to overwork yourself," and she's like, "You're right. I need to basically break up with her friends, and then also we'll find out break up with Corby as well."
And but at this point, she still thinks she's under a ticking clock because they're going to fix the Vulcan thing.
Yes.
So they haven't decided.
Well,
yet
she's definitely going to figure it
remain
out
this way.
because she's smart now.
Right.
And logically, they got to do it.
Meanwhile,
why is this all? Oh yes, La'an's war plan. So her DNA is reacting badly to the Vulcan logic. So she's now, it's a little, the geopolitics of it is a little confusing, but she's trying to plot a galactic war.
Because you need to know some of or be reminded of some of the issues here between the Romulans and the Vulcans.
Right.
I.e., they descended from the same thing.
Right. And so she's trying to like do a false flag mission, right? She wants to trick Klingons, the Gorn, and to create a war, basically.
Well, basically, what we're saying is that she didn't turn Vulcan; she turned Romulan. So she's now duplicitous and warlike, and all of that.
That makes a lot of sense.
So she went evil because she went Romulan, not Vulcan.
What's not lost on me is that swagger style Kirk, he thought, hey, let's go get a drink with maybe he wasn't so interested in the Scotty of it all. He was just kind of seeing if he could get like a piece.
Well, obviously, because he didn't know she was already hooking up with Spock.
Like him just kind of like walking into this is pretty funny. Just like,
I mean,
we've all been on a Tinder, or not me, but like a Match.com or whatever, where all the interactions were great, and then you show up and you're like, wow, you just I gotta tell, I don't know, I had a great date with this lady, very nice lady once. We had a great date, and then literally that night that I met her hours prior, I got a message on the thing. It was like, we need to talk about us, like in the hard quotes, and I was like, us? I just met you. That's what this feels like, but war.
What I like about this is that this is the first time. Is there other examples of Kirk being cock-blocked by Spock?
He doesn't know it yet, though. He doesn't know that.
He's getting Spock blocked.
He is getting Spock blocked. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
She's really excited about it. She steals his little paddy thing. I love how quickly he gives it up. He's like, it's got a lot of important things on it. And they boys know they're in for it. And we get to see a first little idea of like a Kirk Scotty team up, which is kind of cute.
Yep. We're building the BFFs here. So here's where I think they announced they're going to stay. Is that right?
Yeah, they've made the determination that, because they have I think they've come up with the serum at this point.
Right. So they come up with the serum, but they're like, no, thank you.
Yeah, they're like, we're not going to do that.
It is also interesting that they kept wearing the Vulcan costume.
Because that shit was not cheap.
Fair enough. I mean, the hair gel alone to get the pikes straight up.
Yeah, Una's not, or number one's not loving this.
No,
she tries to talk him out of it. He's like, this is when he's instituting his 42-minute policy, 47 minutes, 42 minutes, and it ain't going well. So we have to have a light plotting meeting. We get to revisit the Pelia set, which I adore.
Right. Now, hold up. Before we do that, we should talk about I forget whether it's 42 or 47, because they're different jokes.
It's 42, right, which is Life, the World, and everything. Yeah.
At 42 is, at least today, the amount of how long an episode is on broadcast television.
That's funny.
So he's setting them up to do just episodes.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that, but that's pretty good, Keith.
Yeah.
So we get to revisit the Pelia set. They're concerned about the Vulcans' decision, so they have this... her quarters are shielded from shipboard scanners. I like this. Allowing them to lightly plot, which is a really funny joke. They talk about options, and they come up with they got to reignite their Katras, their souls, but doing so wrong, of course, would be catastrophic.
Always.
But the kind of the stinger joke here is Spock agreeing that, yes, Vulcans can be jerks.
Yeah, they sure can. I really like that Pelia set up a VPN around her.
Oh, for
borders.
sure. Yeah, it's excellent.
I certainly would.
And I like that Spock's in on it. And I mean, you would love Spock to be some sort of a person explaining. He ends up being the sort of cipher for humans in this episode. It would have been nice for him to maybe also be a siphon for Vulcans, because you don't really get a firm pro-Vulcan explaining the sort of how their society has, like, basically what you were saying, Keith, like why they're okay. This is a very negative tinge.
I mean, honestly, the whole series has been that.
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong.
But, this whole thing has been like de-Vulcaning Spock in a lot of ways. So yeah, it is interesting that other series have a much rosier concept of Vulcans. Like original series certainly did. Voyager does. Enterprise has sort of an antagonistic relationship with them, but this sort of like just finds them. It's like the show doesn't quite understand what the Vulcans mean, other than being sort of foils, sort of either comedic or practical foils. They're just sort of in the way. But speaking of in the way,
well, the plot continues.
The plot continues. She's looking up that Jeffries tube.
Yeah, she's looking up the
tubes.
Doing
a colonoscopy here.
And Vulcan Pike comes, and she tries to tell him of her plan, but because of NDAs that they've each signed, they are not allowed to discuss it. So there is sort of an eyebrow off here, where they both say what's between the lines without saying what's between the lines, and it's a funny.
But what's interesting here is they are clocking and acknowledging that she's being run by Romulan OS. Right? So in this scene, they're like, hey, you know that Vulcans and Romulans descended from the same thing, right? Right? Acknowledging that that's what's driving her. And if we are to assume that the Romulan DNA makes them duplicitous and evil and untrustworthy, you'd think Pike acknowledging that would be like, maybe I should keep an eye on this, as opposed to like, cool.
I see you're getting much more specifics about it, where I just thought they were like throwing around the term secret mission, and so there's no real specifics.
No, but the secret mission they are both referencing is the knowledge that the Romulans and the Vulcans descended from the same place.
Oh, okay. Well,
that each of them found that out in different missions.
I see what you're saying, right? Like, I'm much more easily able to look at these things as like bottle episodes, if you will, like sort of Bizarro World episodes, whereas they do sit very firmly in an established lore, and so they are playing fast and loose with a lot of that. It just becomes tiresome to kind of try to connect all those dots, so I just kind of kind of giggled.
Sure, but like her story is she became Romulan, not Vulcan. His story is he became OCD. Her story is like, oh, she's Romulan, so we're gonna have to zap her because she's gone evil.
I don't know that she became Romulan. It just feels like it just reacted badly with her Romulan DNA, or her, right? Like,
or whatever. Well, whatever. The
it just made her duplicitous, and it made her Romulan-esque.
Well, that's what I mean. So okay. Like she becomes she went evil, and like he's acknowledging that, yeah, I'm clocking what's happening here, but just ignores it.
Unfortunately, what she doesn't know is there's so many like horny dudes ready for.
People are paying real close attention.
Yeah.
Lots of
yada 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 yada. What I'm seeing is a lot of eyebrows, Keith, and we gotta respect the eyebrows, all right? Because they do some excellent eyebrowing.
That's true, and honestly, you say that as an excellent eyebrow.
It's
person.
true. You think He went to his trailer and looked up the lore of the Klingons and Romulans and secret missions. Nah. He was looking in that mirror. He was testing those eyebrows.
Oh,
he was like slicking that hair. He is just giving me.
Anson is doing his job. I'm talking the writers.
Yeah, sure. He was like, "Give me. You want Hot Party City, Vulcan? I'm there, baby."
Yes, that is exactly right. The Halloween store that pops up.
Yeah, correct.
In the abandoned store. Yeah.
So here's this little scene tag where we reveal the explanation that he was too chaotic, and Ortega's is like, why is my brother bowing to your every whim? And she kind of explains it, and Ortega's is like, WTF.
That's not cool.
Yeah, which
that's not cool.
Yeah, there's like a whole deconstruction of the Ortega's later. Like that one of all of them hit me. I was like, why do I care about this? They're like, because they needed 4, I guess. It was. All right, so now we begin the defriending process, which is kind of a funny tag because, in case you didn't know, folks, they used to be a thing and then they weren't a thing. I feel like every episode we have to relitigate this in some way, shape, or form, but here we are doing it again.
I mean, look, how many breakups do you have where you're like, oh, I really want to still be friends? And then you're like, oh, wait, I don't actually. So you're like, you friend zone and then you defriend.
Well, he being defriend here. And that one tracks, right? Her mind, I do like that there's a part of her that is like, my work that's so important to me, it's all about the boys. And now, guess what? I'm getting the boys out of here. There's actually something probably pretty smart in there for her.
Totally.
And Spock is like, all right. So we go back.
But she also broke up with her fiance.
She said she was going to. That happens off camera, right? We don't see him later till the...
No, he's right there.
Oh, yeah, he's on the iPad, right. And he's like, what? Wait, dude?
Like, wait, what? You're going to break up with me over Zoom?
Yeah, but like, I haven't even clocked that you're Vulcan now yet. Like, what does that mean? That's a tough breakup. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm a different species now.
We've all felt that way in relationships.
Yeah, that's true. So Spock, being a good buddy, was like, maybe I can help these people out somehow. So we get back to the bromance. They're going to run into La'an yet again. She's going to bully them straight into just being a part of this plan, which I do think is funny.
Of course, I mean, you know, it happens. You get roped into plans by hot Vulcans. It happens.
I would do whatever she told me to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then we go back to this plot that I don't like, and Ortegas is trying to explain why it's bad, and
like, why is it bad that you brainwashed my brother?
And she's like, that's not logical. I'm right. And so that's our scene. But this is where we get some exploration about their relationship and why she's like, this is why you love us. That's the part I was like, you like us because you're friends with me. You love the Ortegases because we're these free spirits and chaos. And I was like, have we established that? I mean, like, it just felt like they're trying to, I don't know. It's a scene. They're trying to have scenes here that are like not in the jokey verse, but I mean, your results may vary. I mean, we're doing a joke, so we're not doing jokes. What do you want? You can't cake and eat it too at this point. Like, I don't need a Degrassi High scene at this point.
Well, I mean, then I talked about it ad nauseum last episode. It was like we haven't laid the track enough we haven't laid what's normal enough to break it.
Yeah.
So nothing is normal.
Yeah. All right, so we need a new plan. We got to figure this out, right? So they like Mbega's plan of like, we got to do the katas, and he's like, how are we going to do that? And she's like, I know a guy. But I'm going to tell you, Keith.
Oh, right. I can't believe Patton Oswalt's not here yet.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, what you're about to see is going to be weird, because I might be calm, cool, and collected, but when I see this guy, I turn into like jelly mouth. And we all been there. You've been jelly mouth before.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So they go to meet who must be the most hot Vulcan you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And it's Patton Oswalt, which
Oswalt
is, I have to tell you, was such a wonderful sight gag, right? Just a sheer sight gag. But it's layered because she loves him for his mind and his intellect and his curiosity. And and in very little dialogue, they establish that in the opening scene and in the tag. And it actually becomes very beautiful that like she loves him or that she's infatuated with him. And it's their chemistry is legitimate and they're able to walk that line. This is one of those few kind of jokey blends that really works. Every effing thing, every scene, second, moment, morsel, millisecond that Patton Oswalt is on screen in this episode works. He is playing this like hybrid, actual fleshed out character.
Right.
And you can see the distinct difference between a caricature, which is what the 4.5 Vulcans are playing, but C. Pike, and a character, fully realized, is. I'm not judging them right now. I'm just saying the juxtaposition is, and because of it, this is so much funnier.
Yeah, agreed. First off, Patton Oswalt is always welcome.
Yes.
Always fun, always watchable, always great. And I think, like, if I were doing a second pass at this, right, and we want to do a scene, do an episode where everybody's Vulcan, and how does that affect people? How does that navigate stuff? Okay, great. And you pick one of these stories to be the funny one. And then you do the rest storytelling. You keep this exactly as it is. This is hilarious. Then let the other things work itself out not so broadly. It doesn't need to be a comedy. Everything doesn't need to be a comedy.
Right. And the comedy that works here is in subverting expectation, right? We expect, because of all the way the Vulcans have been, we expect him to be a certain way, and he is completely the other way. He has a curiosity about humans instead of a disdain for them. That curiosity leads to incredible comedic beats.
And because every other Vulcan hybrid we have here is a characteristic. This is a character.
So we get the scene here. The first scene, we meet Doug. Just the name Doug, chef's kiss. And then they double down and they give us comedy in threes. We learn about Doug. We learn about his cousin, what's her name? Susan, right? It's like, hold on, I have it written down. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I have it.
I think it's Susan. I think you're right.
Yeah, but then he had another guy, too. It was like Jim and Susan.
Carl's always my go-to.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. Well, whatever. So it's a great moment. We get to see her. She can't succumb to him just yet. So she talks about...
She pretends that she's married to Spock.
Yes. Oh, her ex, Doug, blah, blah, blah. She blurts out that they are married and have 2 children, Kalsiv and Sarah. Sarah Doug. And she talks about Spock having a large Lurpa.
Right.
Oh, his sister...
one of their kids is named Doug.
Yeah,
he's like,
right.
That is also my name.
Yes. Sister Susan, his sister Susan, and his cousin Pete.
Pete.
But he doesn't blurt or anything. He actually listens to the whole story. He is really attentive. He's hiding his
Lurpa.
His Lurpa. Just waiting for her to leave. Where he comes down to and he accuses Spock of lying and then does the subverting of expectations, says, oh my God, that's so cool. That you could lie with such grace. I'm obsessed with the human behaviors. He's a connoisseur of human music, culture, slang. So Spock offers to teach him about humanity, an incredible exchange of what do you call it? A quid pro quo. He'll teach him more about humanity if he teaches him how to reconnect the Katras, which...
Great.
Awesome.
Super fun.
Just a premise of an entire episode right there.
Right. 100%.
So that's the end of that. We have the big dinner, and Pike, they talk about a very on-the-nose analogy about Vulcan cooking and its lack of salt or any sort of seasoning and yada, yada, yada. And whereas Mattel's explained how much she wants to get back in, kind of bring up the let me get back into Starfleet thing, Pike, in his logical state, is very honest, saying that it's probably not a good idea. Her medical treatments are ongoing and it's volatile and such and such and such and such. And so she has a very human flip out where she drops some obscenities, says, "Listen up, ears," and just sort of goes after both of them, and very deservedly. And it's wonderful. I adore her, actually.
She's great.
She gives me Cassidy Yates vibes. Her own woman. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Also a captain.
Also a captain. Her man ain't just because he's somebody don't mean she ain't somebody. I dig her. And not to mention, she Gorn, baby. She Gorny.
That's true. She can kick all of our butts.
So she gives everybody a piece of her mind in a wonderful scene. We all know how this will play out, of course.
Of course.
But that's okay. So we get a little bit of, this is the comeuppance, where we talk about human culture and Spock starts to tell him about it. And then we have to start resolving some of these conflicts now, right? So
yeah.
In a very funny, crazy scene, for reasons Scotty and Kirk are just still hanging out with the warlord. She's trying to...
We know the reasons.
Yeah, she's trying to do some things. They're trying to just watch her do some things. And ultimately, Kirk refuses to be a part of it. And Scotty does some sort of like technobabble booby trap.
Scotty sets a trap.
It's a booby trap.
Zapper.
Yeah, it's a zapper trapper. And it's cute. It's a cute little resolution. They have a good rapport. The three of these actors have chemistry, so the scene is nice and funny. Now, would a genius mastermind be fooled by the booby trap? Probably not, but you know. Scotty.
To be fair, it is Scotty.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's that ship.
Yeah, so now we decide to basically do the Katras all off screen. We
resolve that off screen.
Yeah, in another off screen resolution. They all went along with it. Spock is very convincing in your dreams. He's like Freddy, but nice.
And magically, they're back in their uniforms.
Yeah,
and
their hair's
normal.
de-gelled and everything is fine. Yeah, they took a shower. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. It seems like it was genetic because all the hair changed when they took their serum.
Well, we don't know. We just see it en media res, Keith. So it's potential.
But we saw the transition into Vulcans, and the hair changed for some reason.
That's true. Well, I think they call that a sight gag. So
they do.
There's only one, the warlord who just got booby trapped. Mm-hmm. She needs a little special attention. So, did you know, Keith? I don't know if you knew this because I looked it up. There is only one resolution to psychosis if you used to date the person. And that resolution is known as, I think scientifically the term is dance fight.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so...
it's got to be fight dance. You got to start fight and end dance.
You're right.
Because dance fight is you're going in the wrong direction.
You're absolutely right, and that's why most of mine have gone poorly. It turns out. So they fight dance, and that the strong grip and dip of Spock is what I gotta say. It was kind of cool. I thought the choreography was interesting.
The spotlight was a choice.
Was it batshit insane? Yeah. But at least
we're in her head.
Yeah, at least this plot line had an on-screen resolution, and it gets me to play this bumper again.
Dead as hell.
I've got to help those whales! Because you get whale song in the back, which I thought was lovely. So, shocker, that hand real close to her ass did the trick, and she backed.
Yeah. Some of those screenshots looked like the Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah, well, that's going to have to come on Plex, too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
Duchovny was a busy man. Tonight. He was a busy man.
He was. No, I had Californication.
Every time he walked on set, Gillian Anderson was like, "Nope, wrong lot." So yeah, she says, "I'm sorry for brainwashing you," and he's like, "It's okay. Let's get some fries with a sandwich with the fries in it." Maybe that's where it happened. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they talk about it in every single scene.
Keith, I think you should always carry like a sports bag with you, no matter where you go. Is that for his camera? I guess he's got some like camera drones up in there. He's always got a bag.
It's good. It's a pretty puffy bag.
Yeah.
It looks like it's like a sports, like you'd think it would like be boxing equipment, but could be like a, I don't know, it could be like a tutu.
Never has a show where two characters so clearly like each other and are interested in dating forced upon us a will they won't they, right? Like they are. What are we doing? What are we doing?
They are they.
Yeah, it's so weird, right? It's like there's zero wall between them, and yet the show keeps like making it like, I don't know. Yeah.
Are they not hooking up? I think they're hooking up already.
Yeah, but they're playing it like they're not. They're giving me moonlighting when I've already got Red Shoe.
That's a very old set of references.
That's terrible.
There.
So she pissed, and we all know that face. See that face? Go back. If you've ever been married or dating anyone, you know that face.
Yeah.
That's the face that says, I'm upset.
Yeah, while we're doing dishes,
Yeah.
like it's like cleaning up the kitchen, you get that face is such a specific version of that face.
And like, even out of focus, you can tell Pike's like, you have that, you're like, should I,
like the side eye,
should
like,
I say anything?
Am I in danger right now?
Like, does it matter that I was completely intoxicated and under the influence of a serum? Should I say anything? So, luckily the tension is cut when Admiral comes on and says, hey, I like someone with some chutzpah. You're back in, baby. To which
Not
Pike,
only back in.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to take my job. I'm retiring.
Yeah, I'm out. And I need somebody who's less bald, but just as badass.
To be basically the head of the JAG office, I guess was my understanding.
Well, I've been there, but I was 13 at the time. So, JAG office? JAG off. Okay. It's a puberty joke. Don't concern yourself.
Probably watching either Moonlighting or Red Shoe Diaries.
So in a
At
great
that point, it probably didn't matter.
In a great comedic quip, as much as we've kind of the comedy of Pike has been on question here. He ends the scene with a great comment. I think he says, am I a little bit out of trouble?" or something like that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a decent question. I should use that.
Kirby gets unbroken up with Soup, which is delightfully terrible, which is to be expected, which is nice. Everybody loves Soup.
She does not quite have the kitchen or counter that Pike does.
Though, if I'm Kirby, as confident as I am, I'd be like, like we could hang out with Spock less.
Could we do less of this with the ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, like, I'm glad we're all cool, but I don't know.
We don't need to vacation together.
Yeah, like, it's cool. He seems cool. It seems like he's busy, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
But thanks, Chapel. We appreciate it. I'm glad you have friends again and that your bangs are back.
Look, she looks at me with that face. She can bring in whoever else she wants.
You know, Jen told me. She did tell me. Bangs are illogical.
I kind of like her bangs.
I like bangs, but generally they are the result of some sort of a crisis. Okay. Some sort of a life change or a crisis.
Mike, I believe 9 out of 10 things that we do are some sort of a result of a crisis.
Yeah, you're right. You don't usually somebody who just like got bangs, right? Usually like something happened and then they showed up with bangs. Okay.
There's probably crying and wine involved.
Kirby agrees.
That is an amazing screenshot.
Oh man. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in a very beautiful scene, we kind of learn some of the context of number one. She was waiting around. She. It's a will they, won't they? It's a we can't, like, because we're not ourselves. Like, it's just so much. But it's
too horned up for each other.
Yeah, they're too horned up for each other. But she's able to explain that it's not just that. There's like a beautiful relationship underneath. And this is like a tender scene after all of that kind of schlock comedy. And then he walks back in and plays it straight. And it's freaking wonderful.
Yeah.
Cut to... See, I feel like they overplayed their hand here a little bit. We get now this, like, we're a great team, yada, yada. Like, we did the foreshadowing, and it was cute and wonderful in the episode, and then we have to put a tag on it with them cheersing at the bar, and it just, like, felt like, ugh, we get it. This show sometimes, like, wants to smack me in the face with the, like, it's them. Yeah, I got it.
Well, I mean, it didn't bother me that much, but
their chemistry is good. So, but it's like
it's the consequence, as I am harping on endlessly, of having so few episodes. Because if you had 20 episodes a season, you wouldn't need to let us make sure that we outline this in crayon and underline. See what we're doing here. You could just do it as opposed to comment.
See, I'm more
on it.
critical. I think the truncation of the season is an excuse in that regard, because these episodes can be as long as they want, as short as they want. All they have to do is be good episodes, Keith. And you can do the same thing.
100%. No, I agree with you.
Now, that all said, in what I believe is the finest 2 minutes of the series so far, is this end tag, which is post-credit, or kind of mid-credit, where they now show the payoff, since he helped Spock now helps him, and they do an extended sequence of high-fiving, the "you're too slow," fart jokes, a diatribe about cake and presents and birthdays and horror movies, and then a whole thing on contractions, and they go through it all, and they hard cut a lot of it, but then he finally gets the high five right, or one of the contractions, and he shouts,
gets the contractions, yes.
And he shouts, he celebrates, and he says, "I am human," and I laughed out loud. Or he says, I am human, although this is untrue. I am Vulcan, but I am very excited right now." So good. So good. This tag scene shows they can do it. They understand it. I just wish they would do it with more frequency and consistency, which, spoiler alert, is basically my feelings. But that is this episode. Shall we punch it out, Keith?
Let's punch. Oh, right. I forgot what we called this.
With the whole thing, too. Yeah.
Punch that shit! Punch it! Punch it! Just punch it, man! Just punch it! Punch it! Punch it! Punch it!
Let's punch it. Hit it.
Yo, Adrian! It's the Punchies!
Wow.
Oh, man. Well, that's the best moment. I mean, it's the finest moment in the episode. I think I would tie it with maybe the previous Patton Oswalt scene when he meets up. And we talked about it during our review, so I won't belabor it, but there is a place for caricature. There is a place for it. It is one of the Commedia dell'arte styles. It is, but the character is more interesting 9 times out of 10. And that's what the show needs. And I love. And I'm not saying that any of the, we're not adjudicating the actors or the performances in any way. I'm just sort of what they're being asked to do in some ways, and how they're balancing the tonal aspects of each episode throughout the course of a season. It feels very sort of whimsical or haphazard. Mm-hmm. And I just love that Patton Oswalt, of all people, is the actor who grounds this episode in a reality. I love that fact, because we could really just write a whole dissertation on why that is wonderful and unexpected. It subverts the expectation. And so that's my best moment.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that is the most organic moment in it. That was definitely the most enjoyable part for me. There's no question. It's the tag. I got nothing to add.
You get some stambles. Hell yeah, they are self-sealing. Here are some stambles for you.
God damn, that's my favorite. I think that's the best one. Hi, baby. Did you take a nap? Sweetheart. I gotta tell you, I loved this episode so much more when I watched it than talking about it. I was just happy to be back, and
we're here to kill your joy.
Hanging out in the stream, and I laughed out loud a bunch. Who doesn't love a sight gag? Who doesn't love, just some ridiculous silliness? That's fine. And I'm sure, I think JD said it. Just take it for what it is and enjoy it. And there's a completely fine take. That is completely fine, right? Sometimes you eat your sugary Cocoa Puffs and I'm like, whatever, this is sugary Cocoa Puffs. That's true, but it can do more. I think if you want to send up, you said this much more articulately, but sometimes I feel like it's the concept of, hey, look, we're playing fast and loose. We're sending up Trek lore, Trek established ideas because we can and because you need to lighten up, right? And that is fine, but that is just like sort of not enough for me. Like that's not, you can do better, right? You have an opportunity to do more than that. You can send it up and use that, and they've done this before. Use that to make a different point, to reframe something, to add context, to deepen context, to right wrongs. You have all of that opportunities. Now, maybe it's the writers, maybe it's the studio, maybe it's the fact that they just don't freaking know, and it's their future is unclear, and there's a lot of question marks in Star Trek right now, right? Maybe it's that, but the best parts of this episode took place in 5 minutes, right? So just know enough to take those 5 minutes and put them somewhere else and do something better. There are some funny moments, but it doesn't have anything to say. I don't believe for a second it's saying Vulcans are this, or Vulcans should be that, or humans are this. It's like, it's playing pretend that it's saying something about the human condition, but it's not.
It's not. It's nothing to say.
Yeah. And whereas, like I said, it's a fine take to say that. You don't have to have something to say, sure. But you're a high-budget television property with one of the most famous licenses ever. If I gave that to Keith, he'd have something to say. So that's my feeling on it. Patton Oswalt saves it. 70 self-sealing stem bolts. And that's out of context because I can't remember what I ranked anything else. So there you go.
Well, I can, let me pull it up. I think I have it somewhere. Yeah, I mean, look, you had me thinking about this. And I think there are two things that this show struggles with. The difference, like you said, the difference between character and caricature, right?
Yes.
Or a character or characteristic, or as I said before, like they all of these people are a series of quirks and characteristics, and not really characters. And it's the same thing when you zoom out. There's a difference between a story and a genre. And so, like this season in particular, there are no characters, there are no stories. There are caricatures and there are genres. We have, we have the body swap, we have the zombies, we have the whatever, where we are doing a spoof of a genre. We are not telling a story. And it's not tied to anything. And so the characters are just quirks, but not people. And I think that has become a recurring complaint, that these are not people and these are not stories. These are genre spoofs and these are caricatures. They're like extended SNL sketches where it's like, we get the joke because we set up joke concept, but these aren't really people. And they're archetypes, they're sitcom level characters, right? Where like it's who's the boss, right? You got the uptight lady and you got the guy or whatever. I mean, none of these characters have much more depth than that, and none of these stories are more complicated than an episode of Who's the Boss. Oh, you broke the dishwasher, how you gonna cover it up? And like it's just it feels like it's like a parody of Star Trek. It doesn't feel actually like Star Trek. It's incredibly well produced. It's beautiful. It's well acted. The score is great. The special effects are great. It's just really hollow and two-dimensional.
You mention, I think we've talked about this before maybe, is that some people have said, and I've read that, like, that's what the Orville, remember, wanted to do, which is like be live-action Trek.
Yes.
That is comedic. That is like comedic based.
And much more success. I haven't seen a ton of it, but what I have seen is vastly more successful.
So if you want to be like the live action or like the comedic or the live action version
Star
of
Trek.
Lower Decks, you don't need to use this sort of precious characters for
You still have to be people.
Yeah.
You still have to be people, and you still have to have ideas and like stories. Plot. There's no plot. It's just a genre.
Yeah, it's like the fancy wore off for me. Like the seeing Trek and like in full surround sound with high def and all the opportunity. Now I used to just see the blinky lights and loved that about it, but now I see opportunity wasted. You have all of that.
Now that you know what it could be.
Right.
And the depth of it, it is not this, and I am not trying to be shitty about this, but like it feels like AI. It feels like AI slop, where it's really pretty, but it's soulless. So, look, it didn't love this one. Didn't love this one. I find it a little disappointing in all of those ways. So, for me, you're gonna get 65.
Now, I think we both agree that like I don't put it on the cast. I mean, they are committed. No, none of them is phoning it in. At period. But it's just like we're wasting time on stuff. Like you got to know when to cut your losses. Like the Ortegas / Uhura thing. It's a do something with it or jettison moment.
I just don't really know who I don't really know who any of these characters are.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I know them.
Yo, remember Hemmer? Like, think back then. Like, at least we had some stakes, and there was some stuff happening. Right now, it's like this season specifically. We are painting with a very broad brush right now.
Right.
This season specifically, I've been having these feelings of fatigue. I really enjoyed the first season. The second season, I really thought there were some shining moments. This season started pretty strong. So, like, but it's all still felt in the camp of for what it is, and
right.
For what it is fine if you decide you're never going to open the book of for what it can be. And, part of us talking about stuff for 2 hours is like, also we got to look at what it could be and can be and what we need because, folks, the world right now, the cultural landscape with these studios combined, like, if we don't get the good stuff now, I don't know if it's happening. So that's why, I like that people are enjoying Starfleet Academy. I hope that continues and is strong. I am so thankful that I get to now revisit these other shows, Voyager, and kind of know and level set for myself, like what Trek is and
Which
has
I'm
been.
not pretending that they're perfect.
No.
They're certainly not. But they're aspiring to be more than this is aspiring to do.
And their limitations are much more specific. The cultural, the media landscape was a certain way in the 90s.
And I think that their limitations sometimes were forced, they were assets, forced them to be more creative, forced them to be more character-based, forced them to be, to do more cerebral storytelling. And it's just, it feels like a Pop-Tart. And I love Pop-Tarts, but I just don't, they're not memorable. I don't
Some
feel
Pop-Tarts
hooked
are.
into these.
Like, the musical episode, that's a Pop-Tart that was like a special Christmas edition with sprinkles on top. And I remember that one.
Well,
I got the soundtrack.
And a Pop-Tart as part of one of the things you eat all day is great. But this is just all the flavors of Pop-Tarts. There's no meat here. There's no meal. Give us a meal. Please and thank you.
Wow. Never thought the day that Keith would be fighting for protein, but
our charts are upside down. Eat a stick of butter.
I've seen this man live on soda. I mean, like, legitimately drink bottles of soda. Things change. You know what? Sometimes you grow up and you want more, Keith.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. So that is that. Next week, we're doing it. we are pushing through. Next week we are going to be watching Terrarium. So we'll have to see.
Have
what
we decided, like, are we
next.
getting through this entirely before we start Voyager? So no overlap? Because I'm itching.
I know. I'm itching too. We only have 2 more.
Okay.
So if we prep, maybe we can get them in the can ahead of time,
And then
get
get-
them in the
get
can.
going.
We
All right.
can get them faster.
All right.
And
I am
but
going. I'm going away the second week of February. I should mention that.
Oh, okay.
I got a saying, baby.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fun. Yeah, but we only have 2 more. That's it. 2 more. We got to eat our vegetables. We have to eat our Pop-Tarts.
Finish your Pop-Tarts so you can
If
have some
only
Brussels
we had
sprouts.
some vegetables.
Yeah.
Right, I know.
There's someone out there right now that's like, he's excited for Star Trek Voyager. Guess what? I've thank you, by the way. A few of you wrote in and let us know that you actually really enjoy Voyager. And some of you have said that you'll follow us into whatever, which is also awesome. And some folks who are willing to give it another shot. And that is what I'm most excited about.
Yeah. And for the record, I do have Pop-Tarts within arm's reach at this very exact moment. So let me just be as I am critical. I do love myself a Pop-Tart. All right, there it is. We will see you back here next week with Terrarium. Thank you so much for watching a Strange New Show. Keith and Mike, watch Star Trek: Strange New World.